everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm joined today by Anthony.
What's up, everyone?
And Anthony, the Nintendo Switch Pro rumors are back. What are we going to do? It's been we've been talking about this thing forever. And yes, we were talking about rumors a lot too. And some of them come true, some of them don't. And it's very disappointing. And it's hard to get our hopes up for a Switch Pro. But here they are again, and they look fairly credible.
Well, so, what we will say here, so I don't know if you all noticed, we didn't really do anything about the more recent partner direct. I think, honestly, just because we got to the point where all right, no, all this reporting on rumors is starting to get annoying just because, you know what, they keep getting the dates wrong, the content isn't what we want, and so
and we keep getting our hopes up and our hearts smashed.
I know. So here's the reason why we're talking about this one, though, is that we've actually seen something pop up that is about as credible as it can get. This really backs up the rumors. What has appeared online is a new FCC filing made by Nintendo for some refresh of the Switch, it appears. I was just on the FCC website. There's a new filing there. And it showed some attachments for an authorization letter and everything. I wasn't able to look at any of the attachments for whatever reason, but it's there. And the reporting that we've been seeing on it since this FCC filing, popped up, kind of gives a lot of hope. So I guess what I'm saying here is the reason why we're talking about another rumor, even though I was just saying that we're kind of done with rumors, is that this has got a really solid backup to it. Let's tell you what we've heard. I'm pulling from WCCFtech.com for the information that I have here, and we'll just kind of rattle through the things that they said they've heard based on the rumors, and we'll talk about it. Yes. So it says here, and again I'm quoting from WCCFtech. Allegedly, this new upgraded model could support 4K resolution and more computing power.
What do you think about that?
I'm not a pixel chaser, but I'll always take some more if I can get it. So
I agree. I'm not either.
So there's I remember a while back now we did an episode. So this was a long time ago. For those of you who have been around with us for a long time, you might remember. But I was talking about how I feel like sometimes Nintendo maybe lags a little bit too much behind in the technical department, and that makes the third-party divide hard to bridge, and that kind of hurts them.
Yes. And
it's kind of a weird balance that they need to strike, because I do feel like being a pixel chaser and trying to go for the very latest cutting-edge technology is what is making gaming so expensive for developers, and what's kind of eventually going to lead to its collapse if something doesn't change. That's my personal opinion anyway. At the same time, I was saying in this last episode that I think Nintendo needs to try and not lag so far behind. And this kind of seems like maybe they're doing something about it. Possibly could support 4K resolution, more computing power. That's pretty awesome. What I have heard in addition to this, and I'm not I don't know if this is part of WCCF Tech here or not, but I had heard that there's not plans to be changing the casing of the Switch itself. So my understanding is that, what that makes me think is that we might not see a huge change in necessarily the handheld mode screen or anything like that. But I think we're going to see a boost in power, and I think that's going to help with dynamic resolution scaling. They won't have to downscale as much, and then maybe we won't be locked at 30 FPS. Who knows? The main idea and the reason why we're talking about this right now and why we're excited is that for the first time, this appears to be a rumor that Nintendo has indirectly confirmed, and it's been months and months since we've had something of that nature, where Nintendo actually basically themselves backs up a rumor.
Yep.
The last things it's showing here on WCCF Tech is, they were theorizing, first of all, that the new Switch model will possibly support NVIDIA's new DLSS 2.0 to upscale the resolutions. As I understand it, it's a new technology that basically relies on AI to upscale resolutions with low power consumption, if I'm understanding correctly. That honestly would be perfect for the Nintendo Switch. And we know that Nintendo has been working with NVIDIA thus far with the Switch. So that seems to really believable. And honestly,
that is honestly the right direction to go.
A really good idea. I mean, I've heard more than one person say, if they use the DLSS 2.0, I can actually see them. I can see it being possible that they've reached 4K. So that would be pretty cool. And then the last bit. So apparently this is from Nintendo's official letter to the FCC. This is in their own words. It says this is to request a Class 2 permissive change for the ID, presumably for the Switch, originally granted on 4/18/2017, and all its permissive changes. We changed the following points from the original model: change of SoC, or system on a chip, change of memory, and CPU board is changed due to the above two components. So it's definitely sounding like we're going to get a performance boost.
Yes! Just in time for Breath of the Wild 2.
You know what? You were talking about how you saw a rumor where they were saying that along with the new Switch, which presumably is, don't take it with a massive grain of salt, but there's a suggestion that the new Switch will launch Q1 2021, so early next year, and that it will come with a whole bunch of new upgraded, I think is the word they used, upgraded games that will go with it. So I could totally see Breath of the Wild 2 being one of those.
Anthony, let me tell you something. Remember how I said I want Breath of the Wild 2 to be Nintendo's holiday title this year? Well, scratch that. If this is going to be released, really, in reality, going to be released in 2021, Q1, then I want Breath of the Wild to launch with it. That would be so awesome. That's what happened with the original Switch when it launched Breath of the Wild 1. What better way to launch the Switch Pro than with Breath of the Wild 2 in Q1 of 2020?
I'd be all over that.
And for the holiday Christmas title this year, Yoshi's Woolly World.
Well, I hope they have something new as well as remakes. If the rumors about that are all true.
No one shoot me in the comments, please. I just want it doesn't have to be December. It could be the Mario 35th anniversary. But do you really want Mario 35th anniversary when you're going to be playing it on your 1080p screen when you could be playing it on your 4K screen with your Switch Pro?
I mean, maybe
you really want that right now?
Upgrade to it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. TBD.
So this is I guess the end of the story here is that this is a rumor that's looking like there's some real meat to it.
Hold on, there's also something else we got to talk about, Anthony. The rumors also state that Nintendo's going to have the next gen Joy-Con. You got to talk about the Joy-Con, Anthony.
Okay, you're the one who found that source, so I'll let you take it away.
Okay, so I'm taking my source from Switchforce. Thank you, Switchforce. PixArt is the manufacturer that will produce the next-gen Joy-Con controllers, including the hand gesture sensing, and that's all the information we get from that. But next-gen Joy-Con, Anth, what does that mean? Does that mean no more Joy-Con drift?
Let's hope.
Because it's been a major problem. It's gotten Nintendo in some legal action. So you think they're going to fix their issues?
Well, you'd think that legal action would kick them in the butt hard enough to make sure that's one of the things they do fix if they're going to make a new Joy-Cons. So please.
Yes. Do you think it'll be a tad bigger? I honestly think if the casing is going to stay the same on the Switch, the Joy-Cons are going to be about the same size.
Hopefully they just make the buttons a little bigger.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I've never really had a hard time too much with it myself, but I've heard more than one person say that the buttons are smaller than they would like. So.
And if they're doing new Joy-Con, are they going to be doing a new Switch Pro controller too? With the headphone jack?
Who knows?
Ooh, that'd be nice. I love the current Pro controller. It's freaking awesome. It's one of my favorite controllers ever made. I would like to see a headphone jack and maybe we need adaptive triggers. That'd be nice.
If they're planning on, now that you say that, I mean, again...
What about the Joy-Con? The Joy-Con adaptive things too. That'd be sweet.
On the Joy-Con?
Yes, that'd be awesome. Sorry, continue.
I was going to say, if they really are planning to do a remake of Super Mario Sunshine, I mean, that game did use adaptive triggers.
They did have controller adaptive back then, and then they got rid of it.
So I wonder if they're going to be able to actually release that before they do such a thing. Of course, again, now we're just completely theorizing. This doesn't come from anywhere. So
no, it doesn't come from anywhere. All we know is the Joy-Con are going to get a rendition of some kind. Supposedly. Supposedly. It's still kind of rumored.
The last thing I'm going to say is this does make me hopeful that Nintendo has kind of been holding the wool over our eyes, because for a while I was starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, there's all these rumors that keep getting the dates of announcements correct, but they keep not getting it right on what's actually going to be announced, or they're just too hopeful. And so I was starting to get to the point where I'm like, is it just that Nintendo really doesn't have anything for us this year? Like, are they just trying to make it look as good as possible? And so this isn't going to come this year, but it's still a really big thing they haven't told us. And now that it looks like it's a real deal, it makes me think that and hope that maybe there's a whole lot more they're not telling us that's a real thing as well. Certainly if we are really getting a hardware refresh with a Pro model for the Switch, it seems like that means there's a whole crap load of things they're not telling us. And that makes me hopeful again. That doesn't mean that I'm going to start chasing every rumor again, because after the latest partner direct, I just felt burned out. I was like, okay.
We're done. Anyway, you heard it here first. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like this content, please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. It really helps us out. And man, we are so excited about these rumors. If they're true, some of these things actually sound fairly credible. So keep your fingers.
It's coming straight from an FCC filing. That's hard to. I mean, when you see it on the website, that's hard to to say. Oh well, it's a fake.
You know what's even better than that, Anthony? You know what's even better than that?
What's that?
Hearing it here on Simply Nerdy.
Anyway,
you heard it here first, guys. Until next time,
keep it nerdy.